it's good to do some initial grounding moves to allow you to have a breathe and to relax, and the client as well. So it doesn't really matter what you do here, as long as it's you're just having a breathe. And if they're chatting excessively, you can ask them to breathe in and out deeply. Anything you do over the towel here feels good. So you can just do some light compressions. Just be cautious of when you've got your wrist bent like this, that you're not doing anything too firm. So these sort of light movements are nice. If you want to do something firmer, make sure your joints are straight to avoid that pressure. So you can do a sort of knuckle position, you can even support the wrist. We're always using our body weight, our leg positions to get that power. So effectively the arms are still and the legs are moving into that. Anything you do here is comforting. It's the scrunchiness of the towel. You can even do some glute pressures on the upper and mid glutes using the forearm. So if you're going quite deep like this and it's, a new client or someone, you're not seeing often, ask, how's this pressure? Do you want more or less? More or less pressure here?
Absolutely perfect.
Because I've already worked with Hannah, so I kind of got
can gauge.
So options here, you can sort of do some soothing strokes, or you can just stay still. You can also push the shoulders down, just gently. I'm kind of going to whiz through this treatment. It's not like a proper paid for. There's a table made of noise. I think because you skinned on me.
Sorry.
It wasn't one of us.
I can edit that bit out.
You will hear table farts from limbs against the table and stuff. And you have to say to the client, that wasn't me. So this on the bottom of the feet, just using this soft bit of the knuckle, just on the sole of the foot, and same as always, it's the legs doing the work. So it's the force here and the power is just from my body angle, just leaning. There's just some options you can do over the towel. You can even do a whole treatment, doing acupressure, resting on certain areas. Okay, so the first moves are gentle, even if you're doing a deep tissue treatment. So we're just going to gather all the fabric here, and ideally in the consultation you would have mentioned, when we start the treatment, I'm going to tuck the towel into your pants to unveil your back, just so they know what's going to happen. Now you can see all the back's revealed. So just put this on in any way, doesn't really matter. And then the first move is your effleurage, so arms straight, shoulders low, nice lunge position with the back leg straight out. Notice how I shimmy up as I move further up the back. Otherwise, if I was just to stay stuck in the same position, I'd be overstretching like this, which is uncomfortable. So we're not trying to iron out any knots or anything like that with that move. So you never want to ask how's the pressure at the start, because they'll probably just say deeper, but the first moves are meant to be gentle like this. If the skin feels cold, just keep doing this to get that warmth. this ringing movement, similar in theory, you're just warming up, soothing them. Just be cautious when you're coming up the back that our hands aren't going all the way around because it's too intimate. However, when you're on the waist, that's actually really effective to go all the way around. So you're hitting all those lovely side muscles. You can even focus in on some of them. Just do like a one-sided version. That's probably going to feel quite good. And to give that, so this is sort of one hand working at a time, but to give it more power, you can have reinforced hands and just pull back. Again, the medium to light, because we're using our hands, and if you do this too firmly, you're going to strain your wrists. When we come to the top here and the neck, it's difficult to move both your hands over like this because there's not enough room. So we just go back to this one-handed version. And just like I showed you there, we can use one hand on top of the other. So the pads of the fingers are engaged here. You're just releasing it on the spine. You can go quite far here, behind the ear, the base of the head. Just think about your shoulders low. And my legs are in like a sort of sumo squat, and that's enabling me to be lower. Alternatively, you can just sit on a chair when you're working on the neck like this. Okay, so we'll go into some sort of more medium to firmer pressures. So we've got reinforced hands, which is like pointing downwards. This is why we need short nails. I tend to do this one around the shoulders because it's quite a small surface area, so it's good for these sort of smaller sort of patches around the shoulder. Whereas in the lower back area, you've got a sort of swoop here, like quite a large area, so it's easy with knuckles. So use the soft bit here, arm really straight to avoid hurting your wrist. You can go up and down, side to side. So always pressure on one way and not on the way back. And then when you come to do the upper back, the knuckles aren't really going to fit like that, but you can use the edge of the knuckle here. And what you'll start feeling is it's quite slippy on the upper back. Because it's such a small area here, you need that control. So you can wipe the product onto the arms, and you can do this in a sort of nice move. This is a lomi style move, where you drag it all over the arms downwards, and that's going to disperse a bit of the product. And then you can just sort of either use a towel or an extra cloth to dab a bit more off. Now I've got much more control here. So I'm just using these reinforced sort of fingers, just working around the shoulder blades, or I'm opting for knuckles. These angles are so different. Up here and down here are completely different, so you really have to move your body position, otherwise you're going to be contorting. Legs allow me to get lower, or I can perch on the chair. So this is all nice and pink, that means works are underway. Just be cautious here, you're not brushing too much on the head or brushing into them. Just feel a bit much. I feel a lot less tense than yesterday after yesterday's massage.
See, everyone did do a good job.
So those are some options. My favourite though is the forearms, because you can do kind of exactly what we've just been doing without using your hands. So it saves your precious dainty hands, and this is just such a nice massage tool, this soft underbelly of the forearm. This can work on the side here. The key here is just very minimal tension, and you know, be loose. And the legs are doing the work. They're raising you upwards, and the sort of position here, the leaning, that's giving you the power. So there's no pushing through your upper body. So we can do these sort of sideways versions. If someone's got quite bony ribs and your arm's quite slim, this might feel uncomfortable, because you're always trying to feel that softness. So if it felt kind of, everything felt bony, you could just do something gentle with your palms here. But on most people this feels quite soft. We're sort of stretching the skin here. Then we can travel up the side of the spine. So we hold on here to give us more control. Just like the effleurage, we have to move up the table so we're not overstretched. And it's hard to maintain this pressure going all the way around the corner because you're going to be bent over. So don't bother, we'll target this a different way. So this is why the table being fairly low is good, because you can use your sort of upper body weight here. And then to target the upper shoulder, it's a lot lower down, so we either need to sit on a chair, or actually kneeling is quite good here. Even though you're kneeling, you can still lunge and use your body weight. And it can be a challenge getting under here, where people need it. So I've really lowered my body here. I mean, you can use your hands to massage this, but it's quite a firm area. And if you were doing this sort of treatment often, then most people are gonna request back massage. It would fatigue your hands over time. Though if you're doing something lighter and you've got, you know, strong hands, then go for it with your hands. Just be cautious that if you're feeling those aches and pains, then that's a sign that you need to stop doing this. You have to use your forearms. So here I'm detecting tension on the very top. I've got like reinforced thumbs, so they're supporting each other. So I'm not digging in, I'm just sort of holding it and my body's leaning. And I tend to reserve these kind of movements generally for the neck, and sort of smaller areas where it's hard to get that pinpoint precision with your forearm. So in order to focus more on these top of the shoulders here, I'm just going to apply sort of forearm and elbow. And we can even, now that I've removed a lot of the wax, you get that lovely grip, so you're able to stay at a certain point And just allow them to breathe into it. And where are the points? Well, you'll feel them in your hands, you'll feel the tension or the crunches. You can sort of create a little guide there. And it's always your body weight. So my legs are really working. And then always nice to smooth out afterwards with some gentle moves. And this is what one of you asked about, massaging this way. It does feel nice for them, and it's fine if it's not really firm. And ergonomically it's not as comfortable to massage like this, but I'm just doing it lightly. And it's easier this way because you're going upwards. So that's the basics of the back for deep tissue massage, and I'll show you the arms in a minute.